program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
We pissed standing up.
We pissed standing up.
Fuck the refs. They pissed me off, man.
And it's the 1-on-1 edition.
Man, fuck the refs. Look, this is what I know. This is what I know. I'm just going to go ahead and start saying that because it's really pissing me off. I know the clock never stopped. They pick and choose when they want to run that clock. It was a dead ball. We throw the ball. It's a dead ball. Incomplete pass. It's 12 minutes left in the third quarter. And I asked, hey ref, why is the clock running? And it was a dead ball. Excuse me, it was the second quarter. Why is the clock running and it's a dead ball? Is it because it's late? And he looked at me with the side eye and didn't say anything. I was like, you don't hear me? The clock is still running. Now, I would have no issue if the other team got the same treatment. But what I noticed was the moment that they would say, hey, all three refs on their side would stop and go 10 to him. Now, I don't even know if he's special or whatever. I could care less. I don't.
On their side?
I just want consistency. Yes. I just want consistency. I just want fucking consistency. Because what's going to happen, and I even tell Mr. Archer, what's going to happen is they're going to catch me on the wrong day. Because they even asked me to pay. Like, I'm going to sound off. They even asked me to pay for my kids as I was walking in. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, I'm sorry. I'm just not a part of that. You get what I'm saying? So those are my issues. And the reason I can sound off like this is because, yes, we fucking won like we were supposed to. But now y'all go ahead. I'm sorry. Sorry you had to meet me like this, big dog.
He don't know the DFL refs. The Foot Locker refs. We got to deal with that. He don't know nothing about that. We're going to get into some of that tonight, though. Because like I said, you're going to get the story. You're going to get the story.
What y'all got for me?
So, we had a prediction last week. So we're going to show that.
If we don't pull this one out and beat them by 3, it will be because of my fault and Jake's fault. I'm going to put it on Jake, too.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, yeah, we can probably win by 3. Matter of fact, if we win by 3, it better be 21-0.
Ha! You calling the goose egg, coach?
Come on, man. I don't like motherfuckers scoring against me, and them motherfuckers shouldn't have scored.
Hey, we both exceeded that then.
Yeah, 22-0.
22-0.
That's what I'm talking about.
There it is then.
I don't allow shit.
We pissed standing up. Maybe you'll fucking listen next time.
We pissed.
So now you know I'm telling the truth about the goddamn refs. They suck, man. I don't care. Watch, we're probably gonna get shit refs for the rest of the damn time too.
Yeah, there was a lot of talking on, social media about, the Hawks.
Why'd you
Getting,
bring social media up?
One of our players and things like that.
No. Identify his ass. T Wavy. He's on Facebook. Whatever it's look, I don't care. This called me petty. I don't give a fuck. Hey man, I didn't speak on it, but I definitely saw it, and I saw how my players were responding to it, and I didn't want them to tell them to stop because everybody got their egos to them. But now that it's said and done, fuck the fact that we won 22-0, beat y'all's ass. Forget that fact. He touted himself as the number 1 receiver, was targeted 6-7 times, and finishes the game with 0 catches. Hey, coach, I'm going to be honest with you. First week, he had at least 1 because I threw him out there for 3 reps and he got 1 catch, and I purposely targeted him.
Oh my God!
Don't let me say nothing else. T Wavy's garbage. I'm done for the day. Y'all got it. I'll watch film. I'm sorry.
All right, as y'all can see, we have a special guest today, Coach Collins, formerly of the AZ Roll Tide head coach. So we're going to be asking him a few questions today. We're also going to go over last night's game a little bit. We don't have any stats yet, but we're going to be looking at, some of the big plays, some bad plays.
Jaleel may have had 100. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
100 yards. Well, shit.
Yeah.
How long was that one round?
That was 62.
Okay. Yeah, so
He could
Yeah,
have.
it was possible.
He could have.
I'll be adding that shit up tomorrow, though. Or maybe on Tuesday.
Definitely let
On
me
my day
know.
off.
If he had a hundo, that means I got to do something for the O line. And being real, we played a better game, but it wasn't a game like that. So we still got much more improvement to do.
You get a chance to watch the film on Huddle?
Oh no, not yet, man. You know, been busy doing some other things, but I mean, I'm sure. I'll watch it and give you the diagnostics of it.
All right. Well, we had a few big plays. We got a lot of shit we need to work on offensively and defensively. We'll tighten some shit up during our bye week. We have a bye week this week. Week after that, we play the Rebels, so we're gonna focus on that. Yeah, we won 22-0 against the Hawks. We were supposed to win that game, just like we were supposed to win last week's game. And you know, shit happens. As you know, Coach Collins has kept reminding me, history repeats itself. 3 years in a row, might I add. 3 years in a row. We
Lose
lost
the first game.
the first fucking game.
And then win the second. Well, the first year we ran off 11 straight. Last year, I'm sure we would have ran off 11 straight had it not been for COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I have competitive arrogance. You already know how I am. So, you know, like, for me, I always felt there's not a coach in that league that's going to outcoach me, period. And that's been proven, I mean, time and time again. So, I mean, cats on the team can say what they want. But when we were down 21-0 to the Headhunters in the fourth quarter of that semi playoff game to go to the championship, I just told her, just relax. We're going to come back and win this game. And we scored 22 points in 7 minutes. Cats didn't even understand how we even did that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and remember, I got to that game late.
Yeah, you did.
Because I had a board meeting, and I got to that game late. I got there it was like in the middle of the first quarter.
Yeah, I had to call offensive plays, and I was confused like a motherfucker.
You call offensive plays?
Yeah, man.
Well, because we had a script and everything.
What
So.
they call
me
it, Sally?
He gave me a script,
Knowing your names.
and
Oh, you said, oh, that's right. It's Coach Collins' script.
Yeah, it was his
Okay, so
script.
you were saved a little bit.
oh no,
I had gave him a script. Because, I mean, I had to leave, like, there were some games during the season where I had to go out of town for some business and,
Right.
you know, just left them a script and they still won those games. So it's just like, and you and I both come from real football. You're supposed to know the plays in your job.
Right.
So you're expecting these cats to know the plays in their job.
Right.
So it's like, no matter who's calling the play, if you know the play, you can get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Hey, I got to hang on that just for a second.
okay.
Within your offense, did you do personnel groupings?
Yes, but see, okay, here's the thing. Let me break it down for you. It's amateur football for one.
Right.
And you get a lot of these cats that lie about playing football. So one of the things that I learned, especially because I did semi-pro. Yeah, I hate calling it that, but me and my boy does. But anyway, I did semi-pro in Yuma when I used to coach at ADUB at Arizona Western. I coached down there for 3 years.
Okay.
And I did a semi-pro team down there. So what I found is I found a way to marry the personnel, the formations, and the play with one name.
Okay.
So like we would have, you know, I would name them, you know, we have plays called like Trojan, you know, last year I did Top Gun characters,
Gotcha.
you know, but the personnel was there, 21, 22, all that was ingrained in the play, but because I mean, let's just keep it a buck. You know who's telling the truth and you know who knows football and who doesn't.
Right.
And so with a lot of these cats, I knew they didn't know football.
Right.
Just by the way they were standing, by the way they were talking, I knew they hadn't been in a real football environment.
Right.
So I tried to simplify it as easy as possible by
Right.
putting everything in, because it could be 495, 6Z, Y flat banana. And for a lot of cats,
We're
I mean-
absolutely good with that. Like, as soon as you said, I was like, damn, is he in my playbook?
but it's like, he quotes the stuff a lot. You know, Don Shula, you know, when I was in the league, they say Don Shula had this quote, "Don't bring me no dumb football players."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, no disrespect to some of the guys on the team, but a lot of them were not football smart.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem,
the football acumen is not there.
Yeah, the football
I have no problem saying that.
and it was like, you know, when we were in the DFL, there were times, man, we were scoring 40 points a game, but the touchdowns were getting taken off the board because they were lining up wrong. And I didn't expect for me to come in for guys who played football,
right, the semi-pro,
to sit here and tell you how to line up like we're in high school.
right.
Because even my little nephew, when they were little kids, they knew how to line up in Pop Warner. So if you play football, you know you're on the hill to receiver. You know not to cover the tight end. You know what I'm saying? You know, if I and even still, like even when I drew the plays up, I did a PowerPoint presentation and I color coded every position to simplify it. Okay, you're the Y, you're the yellow dot, you're the X, you're the blue dot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
I made those red.
Right.
You know what I'm
When I
saying?
put them in the app, I made those red and blue.
Yeah, and when he came up with the Army app, and we started putting everything in the Army app because I was giving guys playbooks, and what happened to us that first year, because Bo was hounding, oh, guys want playbooks. I'm like, dude, you need to chill because a lot of these guys might not even be on the team. But we went on and did what we did, and we gave out paper playbooks, and then some of those guys left the team and was giving out playbook to the other team.
Right.
And matter of fact, what was that team with the racist wife that was calling everybody the N-word? The Game Changers.
Yeah.
We had players from their team that left our team and went to their team and took our playbook with them. They stole. They even did our cadence. Go, ready, set, go. They had our cadence and everything, formations, all that.
They ran all our plays.
They ran all our plays.
They didn't know all the nuances.
But they didn't get it. But they didn't know the nuances. All they saw, but they didn't know why they were doing it. They didn't know the audibles I had in those plays. Because what I was trying to do is I'm a work smarter, not harder type of cat.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was a Drew Call American tight end, went to USC, got moved to defense. Then I transferred from SU to Chapman University. Then just my experience in the league, and then I did an internship with the Steelers. So I learned how to just work smarter and marry everything together for these cats. And so me thinking that they're football guys, they would pick up on it. The only ones who really picked up on it, believe it or not, on the offense were 3 players. His nephew Juan, dude named Terrence, and Little Luis. I don't know if you've probably heard the legend of Little Luis.
No, not yet.
Little Luis, number 6, when he out there, and didn't Luis come out there to practice?
Luis that goes to.
I went to the D3 school?
Yeah, they went to the D3 school.
Gotcha.
They were the only 3 who knew what and why they were doing the plays, even after I explained it to some of the guys on the team several times,
Gotcha.
why they were doing it. And they're like, okay, coach, I see, because if we run this here, then this guy's going to. Exactly. Like, I always tell people when you deal, it's like, because I'm an educator, so I've coached little kids and high school kids. And so one of the things I always say is, if you can anticipate the human mind, you leave nothing to chance. So you think if I put my mind in the mind of a sixth grader or a high schooler, I have to think like that high schooler. So I'm thinking like a semi-pro player. A lot of these guys, let's just keep it a buck. A lot of these guys are out of shape. They're lazy. And they're paying to live out of fantasy. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Do you. $100, $500, whatever you're paying for an experience.
Right.
But for me, I'm putting my mind in their mind. I'm thinking how they would think.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I give a class example. We played this team called the Bears. JT owned that team. And every game I watched of them in person and on film, I noticed they had some stout linebackers that were kind of chubby. And they were built for stopping the run. So, there was one thing I always try to teach these cats, because just as well as I know, when the ball is snapped, it's a broken play. Because you can't anticipate that D lineman getting through.
Right.
You can't anticipate if that center's going to trip. You can't anticipate anything.
Right.
So it's a broken play. So one thing I always try to tell the guys is, and that was one of the things that I would always hear Coach Taylor say at FAMU, make the play without making the play. And so I would put these cats, and I told them, I said, look, when we play the Bears, we called it a prolific formation. And it was basically a 4x1 after Nipsey, because it was around the time when Nipsey got murdered. And we had all these plays. We had LeBron, D Wade, KG, it was all these. And some of them didn't understand why we were going 4x1. But Juan and Luis understood it, because they were like, oh, I get it, coach. Because they got those chubby linebackers. We just gonna it's gonna be like a race.
Right.
Spread them out, and we just gonna throw the ball down the field. I didn't care if Jay completed the pass or not,
Right.
because
Over time they will, because they just can't keep up.
they can't keep up, and that's what happened. They couldn't keep up.
Right.
Juan actually broke for like an 80-yard touchdown
Right.
off an off-tackle run. He broke it for 80 yards. It got called back because we had Foot Locker referees.
Right.
And then even CJ, remember CJ? Because then we would come out in the 4x1, and then I started adding the little nuances.
Wait, coach. Did you just say Foot Locker?
Yeah, they were really Foot Locker refs, bro. They would come out looking like Foot Locker, dude. They come in. I'm serious, man. They come out in basketball shorts.
Basketball shorts.
They didn't know the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
They didn't know the very rules.
The
in which
rules
they were
change
officiating.
every game.
Yeah.
Rules
The rules will change every game. It was one game I wasn't there, and they did a kickoff.
Yeah.
And they playing the Montauk Warriors. We playing the Montauk Warriors. The ball rolled into the end zone, and our guys, we always teach them, you just play into the whistle. So this guy we had named Joseph, who I got a bone to pick with, he goes and he gets the ball in the end zone and he takes a knee, but it's a touchdown. The ref didn't call a touchdown; he called a touchback because Joseph took a knee. But Joseph only took the knee just to take the knee.
Right.
And this dude called a touchback, and they didn't know the rules that it was a touchdown.
Right.
On every level of football, that's a touchdown.
Right.
But they didn't know the rules, and it was like every
The thing was, he didn't know whether that was in our rule book or not, so he wanted to go and ask. So he went and asked the owner, and the owner was like, "It's a touchback."
Yeah,
He said it's been a touchback all year, when in fact it hasn't.
It hasn't. It hadn't even happened until that game.
Exactly.
And so, so we, and that was the thing about it is, in that league, we dealt with so much adversity. You talking about the refs now, bro? Trust me, you would have lost your cool in this league.
Really?
In that league, you would have lost your cool, bro. Like, I'll take it back to the championship game when the head ref who was his cousin, by the way, the owner's cousin, the owner of the league. It was his cousin reffing the game. This dude was over there having a conversation with me. It was still like a minute and 50 seconds left on the clock. These dudes started the game without the head ref and took time off the clock. And they refused to put the time back on the clock. And we were losing at that point 8-6. And it was like, so when we were out there coaching, we were not just coaching against the other team. We were coaching against the league and the refs.
Gotcha.
Because, as a matter of fact, that first game we played the Warriors, because it was a big deal. Well, I forgot the white cat's name from the Warriors. I never cared to me, but it was like this big deal. The Warriors, and they doing all this trash talking, and all these guys know each other. And we scored 3 touchdowns in that game that they called back. 3 touchdowns. We lost that game 10-7, but we easily should have won that game 28-3. Easily should have won that game 28-3. But they called back all our touchdowns, with the exception of the kick return. Warren scored that touchdown. Remember, Warren scored that touchdown on Trojan and broke it and dove into the end zone. Then Jake, we did a quarterback sneak with Jake. They called that back. And at that point, I knew. I said, now I see what I'm going to have to coach against.
Gotcha.
That was the very first game.
That was the first game of the season.
We have video and a still picture of him diving in.
This was that
DFL league, yeah.
Okay. So this is the league that you left and now over at CFL.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going a little fast.
No, it's all good.
Let me ask this, and I know I'm sliding into my pod mantra right now. I can already tell, but I'm just curious, and I'm going to use you as a resource. What motivated you to continue to coach?
You know what, man? First of all, I have
in this particular league.
I have a competition addiction.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like at my school, I coach girls soccer. Like I like to coach. You know what I mean? I like being part athletic because athletics changed my life growing up. And so for me, me and this cat became real cool friends that first year. And it was like, and the thing about it was, I like to be a man of my word. And I remember it was the Bears game. And I remember telling Bo on the sideline, I said, if you stay in this league, bro, you're going to have to find another coach because I'm not coaching in this league again. So, of course, going to the AZCFL, like I said, I have competitive arrogance. Right. You're not going to outcoach me. Right. You may have better players than me, and you may win, but you're not going to outcoach me. My team's going to be prepared. Right. Now, don't get me wrong. You know just as well as I do. Sometimes it comes down to Jimmy Joe's, not X's and O's. That's just what it comes down to. Right. You know what I mean? Like there are plenty of guys. There are plenty of guys better coaches than Saban. Right. But Saban just have those dogs. Right. He just got those dogs. Right. And you know what I'm saying? Especially on the line, on O-line and D-line, because that's where the game is won and lost.
Thank you.
And so,
stop. Our players listening to this, right?
Yeah.
They listen and watch this, right? See, I'm definitely.
I'm thinking some of them do.
Hey, damn it.
I know my grandma watching.
I think Trent is, hey, Grandma, I'm sorry, we was rude. Hey, Grandma. Damn, we was rude. Hey, Grandma. But going back to it, football is won where, sir?
It's at the line of scrimmage. Tip of the spear.
Line.
And it's crazy to me because, I'm going to keep it a buck. A lot of these cats are ESPN watchers. I don't care for ESPN. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I used to watch ESPN Black when I was playing and in the league, but I don't care for it now because I just realized it's just a bunch of dudes who never did anything for it. I mean, they got a little better. They added ex-pro players. Right. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's just garbage to me. But these cats watch ESPN, and if they watch ESPN, it pretty much says the same thing. The game was won at the line of scrimmage. And what people don't understand is It's the lineman, and I'll quote this line from that movie Street Kings with Forrest Whitaker and Keanu Reeves, and he goes, "I can't have you in trouble. You are the tip of the effing spear." That's what the O-line and D-line is for the football team. They're the tip of the spear. I don't give a crap if we right here playing amateur football and we got Tom Brady back there. If they can't block, Brady ain't getting no pass. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
You saw that in the Super Bowl, dude.
Oh, yes, exactly. You saw this, and it's proven every time after time. And I always tell people, your line play, and, I'm a big proponent of tight end, especially because I was a Drew All-American tight end, so I know how important tight ends are to an offense.
Right.
That's why I got the bone to pick with Joe, because remember our game plan for the Warriors, that was all centered around him. Mm-hmm. Because I knew they had no one that could guard him. Even though he wasn't fast, he would open up the rest of the offense. Mm-hmm. And he went to Vegas to hang out with Josh, the dude who's supposed to be the coach. And yeah, Bo, I'm gonna keep it a buck. You owe me a thank you, Bo, because I'm just gonna keep it real. Your program wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for me. And this guy, I'm just keeping it a buck. Because if I didn't take over with your team, you would have had Josh, that church dude, and the other dude who never showed up. And the old man, he got sick. And he was a legit player, though. His family name is known all around Tucson, and he went to U of A. But let's just keep it a buck, man. Without me and him, y'all win maybe 2 games that first year. And then your program isn't even marketable like it is now. I'm just going to keep it a buck. You can call me petty if you want to, but it's true. You know it's true, and he know it's true. Matter of fact, this stuff that y'all doing, this was my stuff. Me and him talked about this. So, it's just what it is. I did feel slightly disrespected. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. What made me step down was T-Wavy and Jake. They allowed this guy to talk trash about us on Facebook. A guy who wasn't even who tried to come out for the team and quit because him and Bo had some type of riff or whatever the case can be over money or some garbage. But here's the thing. And this is how I know these cats were never real football players. We could hate each other in the locker room. Yeah. And you've seen locker room problems. I know you have. Yeah. We know guys who can slept with coaches' wives, all that stuff, right. And it divides a locker room. Right. But when we step on that field, or when somebody else talk trash about, we handle the business. So for me, you got these cats up there talking crap about us on Facebook, and you didn't even step up and say nothing. And he even interceding was like, so dang, what is me and Collins? And they just laughed at him. Laughed. Really? Yeah, so at that point, I'm like, you know what? I got way too much going on in my life. I was already stressed out about the the campaign run. I'm stressed out about that. I'm like, and I'm putting aside some of my obligations, because there were times I had to leave board meetings early on weekends so I can go coach this game. Right. Or leave soccer practice, or go right from a soccer game right to practice. Right. And you gonna disrespect, and I'm not getting paid for this. I didn't even get a thank you card for the championship game. Like, you didn't even, thank you for coaching my team. Here's a $25 gift card to Chili's. You know what I'm saying? So, nothing. Yeah. As if I'm supposed to do that. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So, so the fact of the matter is, I feel
they do that in high school, coach.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's what I'm talking. You laughing, but we dead ass serious. Yeah. You get about 3 or 4 at the end of the year. You get a Starbucks. They say, hey, we know and we get stipends too.
Yeah, you get a stipend
on top of the stipend. If you got a real good program like Maricopa Rams, great program. I appreciate y'all. I was getting food cards and grocery cards every week.
Yeah, the boosters take care of you. But so for me, like I said, I felt
so. I get your point in that. That's why I made that point.
Yeah, because you understand where I'm coming from with that, and it's like, and for me to be dedicating my time. And I'm not getting paid. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect.
So I shouldn't expect the Chili's card.
No, you shouldn't expect
Dunkin' Donuts or nothing.
He might do it for you because they're going to see this, so he might he might do it to save face. Okay. But you know what I mean. I told you. I asked you. You sure you want to do this interview?
He did, Coach. He did say, "Hey, are you sure you want me in this room?" You said yes. I'm going to ask the questions. I like this.
And so so it's like so for me. And, I have a conference call. My man Oliver Gibson, Cordell Stewart, we do conference calls. Yeah. And, I remember when I stepped down, they were like, being bitter. I was like, I'm not bitter. It's the principle. And he knows me well enough to know, for me, everything's about the principle. Okay. Because my grandfather always told me a man has to have a set of principles.
Right.
And if so for me, it was all about the principle. Because guess what, Jake? There were people talking about you, but I took up for you. Guess what, T Wavy? There were people talking about you, but I took up for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for you to allow that to go down on a platform where you didn't even say, "Hey, man, our coaches are legit." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not even nothing. Didn't even just step up and say nothing. Just laugh. Like it was funny and like it and liking the comments. Oh boy, talking about Madden plays. Man, stop. You couldn't play on our team because you didn't understand the plays.
Gotcha.
Madden plays, no, bro. I took black college football plays, college from the NFL, and you couldn't understand them because you were not that smart.
Yeah.
And I have this saying that I say, I coined it. Is it stupid because you don't understand it, or are you stupid because you don't understand it?
That's one of those questions that hurt a little bit. Because then once you realize, well, damn it. It may be because of me.
and so
maybe it's you.
So it's like, and like I said, I tried to simplify. I tried to make it as complex but simple as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tried to make it player friendly because a lot of these cats don't know how smart football players have to be.
You have to be.
And they don't get that because they never really played in a real program. They, because they're so used to the stereotypical, you watch these movies and the jocks are dumb. Right. Yeah, he may be academically dumb.
Right.
But they know football.
It has to. They can't equate to what you have to learn and how you learn and how you apply it on the field.
And they don't and they don't even realize we didn't do a lot of hitting and all that stuff when I was coach because guess what? It's semi-pro. You pay to play the game, not to practice.
Right.
And I'm not trying to get you hurt at practice.
Right.
So I'd rather rep the plays over and over again so you can learn the plays, and then we get out there and we can win the game. Because ultimately, that's what's important to me. Because like I told him, I'm not coming out here to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the time, my lady, she was living long distance. You know what I'm saying? So she would come down on certain weekends. So I'm like, I'm not leaving my lady at the crib to come out here and lose a game.
Right.
So you can come out here and live some fantasy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you out here living a fantasy like this Michael Jordan basketball camp.
Right.
So, that was one of the main things for me is just like, and I just kind of got, I got tired of and I noticed earlier you were talking about the talking, and it's like, bruh, like if you knew, you would do.
Exactly.
And
and I'm just like that with all of them across the board. It's like, come on, man, like this way too much woofing and acting and perpetrating as opposed to just carrying it out. Like as a whole team, y'all know that once a week is not sufficient.
Right,
regardless of your responsibilities or whatever, like I could give a fuck. Like once a week is not sufficient.
Because but see, we know that because how many hours did you spend in the meeting room?
Well, that's 5, and that's probably after practice.
Exactly. I was on the practice team, bro, and was sitting in the meeting room for 3 hours. And then we practice sometimes two practices a day. Yes. But they don't understand that. They think they just see a product. And they think back how it was when no, dude. When you get to college, higher tier college ball, and you get to the league, it's practice, film study. You're expected to go home and do film study. Like, it's kind of unspoken, but you're expected to do it.
Yeah, it's literally, we can talk about something on Monday or Tuesday. Do not rep it whatsoever, but have a walkthrough about it. And if you fuck up, it's like, are you serious right now?
How did
You're fucking fired. Like, how did you even not know that? It's like, well, damn.
But see,
it happens. It's real.
But they don't understand that because their playing experience is limited.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And I'm just keeping it a buck.
Yeah.
And because it's limited, they only know what they know. And that's okay. My thing is be humble and just admit you don't know. Even with all my experiences, dude, Bertrand Berry's one of my boys. I talk to him all the time. He has a little facility out here for University of 15 called the Train Center, where he trains, D linemen and stuff. Thurman Moore is another one of my mentors, man. The D-line guy, FBU.
Yeah.
I'm always talking with these cats, man, about football and sometimes just about life stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, I'll forget more than they'll ever know in football, but I'm always learning. But it's like they think they're not supposed to go and learn. Like I got this. No, you
I
don't.
know this. Right. No.
You know, so trust me, bro. I when you were talking earlier, I understand your frustration because especially when we started using the Army app, I'm sitting there like, dude, this is like a video game.
It is.
How can you not spend, and I tell them all the time, I said, dude, if you spend at least 10 minutes a day, and I'm telling you, and then that's the thing, I was giving him the plays to tell them, because there was sometimes I couldn't make the practice, I had soccer games. And so I said, hey, tell them to study these plays. You already know we're going to run Pirate, Maverick, Goose. You know what we're running coming into the game.
Right.
You ain't got to study the whole playbook. Just study what you need to know. And it's color-coded, so just study your position. You know, like,
It didn't happen.
and like I said, it was only
3D or first person.
it was like I explained, man. Luis, you know, that's why Luis was always the team MVP.
Right.
Because he knew what everybody was supposed to do.
Right.
Everybody. And you know, and that's where really my bone came from with Bo is they had a party for Luis in Xavier. And I felt disrespected because they didn't even tell me about the party. He called and told me about the party the day of the party.
Wow, so they didn't include you.
Didn't even include me because I had stepped down as the coach. It ain't like I stepped down 3 days before the season started. I gave you 6 months.
Right.
You had 6 months. And I, like I said, I'm gonna be very Brody about this. If it were not for me, Luis wouldn't have probably got that scholarship because no other coach would have played him. Because let's keep it real, Luis didn't get that scholarship off that little crappy league, JUCO football league they were playing. He didn't get that scholarship. He got the scholarship off of what he did with the Roll Tide.
Gotcha.
Any other coach wouldn't even played him. They would have saw a 5'6" Mexican kid that was maybe 130, 140, soaking wet. But when I saw him, because of my experience as a player, you know what I saw?
Right.
Warwick Dunn.
Gotcha.
I saw Warwick Dunn.
Interesting.
And I was like, and that was certain. And then when his nephew joined the team, I was like, I got Warwick Dunn and I got Chris Johnson. I'm serious. That's how I looked at the offense.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I got Ryan Leaf at quarterback.
Okay.
What? Why y'all laughing?
Man, all right,
Not
leave.
Ryan Lee.
Come on, bro.
Damn.
Y'all both know he's a head case like Ryan Leaf. Ryan's matured a lot in his older years. But I mean,
And he locked up?
no, Ryan been out.
He said he'd been out.
Ryan been out, man. Ryan got
He has a show.
he got a show and everything. He got a podcast.
Yeah.
He's doing real well for himself. But you know, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna take anything away from Jake. The dude can throw the ball, but he's still raw. He doesn't want to accept coaching. Because even my boy came out. My boy, I call him my little brother. My boy did some stuff with the Redskins quarterback. He played quarterback at Norfolk State. And even he was, I mean, he didn't come out consistently, but even he was trying to teach him stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, bruh, you got people trying to teach you this. I'm teaching you how to read a defense because I had the luxury of being a tight end and a defensive player, so I know both sides of the ball.
Right.
I know where the weaknesses are on a cover 3 or cover 2. I know all the weaknesses on the defense.
Right.
So I'm trying to tell you this is where we're going to hit. Like, look here, but go here.
Right.
Because that's going to be open. And I mean, I don't know how many games are up online, but you can go back and watch all our games, DFL and from this league last year. Every play we had 2 people open, at least 2 people. At least 2 people open at all times. Because of the route combinations and all that stuff. So, but he slipped up and told my little brother, man, coach, man, I don't understand his plays, they're too hard. At least that's what my little brother came back and told me.
Uh-huh.
It's not that they were hard. You just don't know football, bro. If I give you a 4x1, if I give you quads, what's your read? The single receiver side. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You only go back into the quads if you're single receiver, if they cutting him at the top.
Right.
Because if they cut him at the top, then that means one of those other routes going to be open. And don't get me wrong, I understand. It's amateur football. A lot of cats didn't come to practice. And so he didn't trust a lot of them. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's amateur football. You just got to go out there and play. And in essence, you're basically playing backyard football. And it comes down to who's going to outsmart who at the end of the day.
That's what it is.
That's what it's going to come down to. I mean, hell, man, you know, you go back to our playbook. I had halfback passes. You know what I mean? All types of, like, we played the team called the Headhunters. And I remember that was a crazy game because we really didn't have any linemen. So I couldn't run our, and then of course, this is the thing that kills me. It's a good thing that I have the experiences that I have, not just in sports, but just with life, sometimes you just have to make quick adjustments.
Right.
You just, you just have to have the final mentality. F it, drive on. There'll be times we get to the game and find out such and such ain't playing. After we didn't devise the whole game plan around this person or these people. So we had the headhunter game, and we were missing like 3 linemen. Both had to play O-line. So I was like, all right, we can't go down the field then. We're just going to run outside, and we're going to throw short, quick passes. As a matter of fact, our first touchdown came off that one touchdown pass. Remember one we called the Bearcat? And one came up the gut like he was going to run and jumped over and hit Joseph. Just little stuff like that. Sometimes you just have to outsmart it because it's like, you know what? This is what it is. Right. But that also came from my experience of doing semi-pro before, because I dealt with that in Yuma. Okay. And I was like, and even when I came out here, when I moved out here, I had to, that's how I met Bo. I was the D coordinator for the team called the Ravens they had with Coach Rick. Okay. And there would be guys, you have 7 guys at practice, then you got 20 for the game.
25 at the game.
And so it's like, well, I got to do this defense. But, because football is like music to Beethoven, I was like, all right, we just going to do this and this and this. We just going to put each other in position. We'll run check LeBeau. I call it, and I got that, the whole check LeBeau system was Dick LeBeau because of his own blitz. Right. Dropped, so I just called it check LeBeau, something they would remember. So it's like, that's how, and I would just put all this stuff together. And so, so like I said, in Jake's defense, I understand, and sometimes he didn't feel like he could trust his receiver. And don't get me wrong, bro. That first year, we had absolutely no receivers. The best receiver on the team was Luis, the little Mexican kid. Okay. He was the best receiver. That's why I said that's why he won. And it was funny because cats had to respect him. If you saw him, you'd be like, what? This little? But they had to respect him because I always found ways to get him the ball, especially in space. Okay. Because he played flag football, so he knew how to use his body. Right. Because that would be times, I'm telling you, you go back and watch those film, the dude be trying to tackle him and he'll hit him with the flag move where he'll dip his hip and just get out the grasp like an inch. Yeah, he would do that, man. But because he was just that caliber player. Right. If he had been like 5'7", 5'8", he definitely would have been going lower tier D1. Gotcha. I guarantee you that. But because he was 5'5", that kind of stunted his opportunity. But nonetheless, I'm happy that he's where he's at, that he's getting a chance to get his education. More importantly, get his education and use football as a conduit to get to school. Right. So, you know what I mean? But it's like with a lot of these cats, man, they're just delusional. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 41. I'm not out there trying to play no more because I know what my body can do now. Right. You know what I'm saying? I had to take 2 pain pills because my knee right here on the inside is hurting. It's hurting. Right. I have no cartilage left in my knees. I ain't gonna sit here in front like and go out there. Right. Yeah, I can get with you for like 2 or 3 reps. Right. But after that, my back and my knees hurt.
I joke with them all the time. It's like, I give you 15 good plays over 6 quarters. 2 or 3
reps of right. You know what I'm saying?
Said over 6 quarters.
I can definitely relate. That's and being transparent. That's definitely how I felt after the first week. I was pissed that I was part of that type of presentation, and I was like, wait a minute now, like this is how it's gonna happen. This is how it's gonna go down, and we just got to give a better presentation, like present as real football players.
There's listen, man.
Certain things that happen with that.
When I told my little crew, man, OG, Cordell, and all the cats that I was doing semi-pro, man, they were laughing. And I was sending them film. And they would literally be laughing. They're like, this is football? They call it bad ball. This is bad ball. Right. Like, because it doesn't look like football to them. Right. You know what I mean? And they're like, man, see, why you doing this? I said, man, because, I like the guy who owns the team is my boy. He asked me to do it, so I'm going to go out. I'm doing it for him as a favor for him. Right. Because I didn't want him to look bad. Because once I saw the people that he had to coaches, that team would have folded the first year. Because the dude, that Josh dude, players didn't even like him because he was taking money from him or some junk and they were getting it beat. You know what I'm saying? All types of crap. You know what I mean? So now you ain't got no coach. Where you going to find a coach in the middle of the year? So for me, I just felt like that was a spit in the face when he didn't invite me to Luis's party. You know what I'm saying? To me, I just took that as an insult. Gotcha. Especially like I said, like, you know, like Pac said about Biggie, you owe me more than that, Big. You know what I'm saying? You owe me more to let these cats know they're gonna blow my brains out in this hall. Like I just felt he owed me more than that. You know, hey man, thank you for coaching my team, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, bro. Because I ain't have to do that. You know what I mean? And the fact is, you know, like I said, you know, the whole video, all that stuff, because we came up with the idea. Because my boys would tease me. They were like, oh, this should be a reality show. They even had a song, Semi-Pro. Like, you guys should, you know, that's what I'm serious. You know? And that's what they started. That's how it started. Me, my man OG and Cordell, we were on the phone. And they were teasing me, and OG was like, so what happened in the world of Semi-Pro? And, you know, Cordell's wife was on Housewives.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, man, that should be like a reality show.
Right.
And so I was like, yo, and I came here and said, yo, man, we were talking, we should turn it into like a reality show, have like in-game footage and this and that and other. And that's how the whole concept came about.
Gotcha. Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he's up there, oh, we got cameras in the helmets and all that. Yeah, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Interesting.
So, yeah, man, ask away, man, because I told y'all cats, man.
Well, I mean, this started, the original question was like, hey, do you have personnel groups? That was the original question. That was it. Hey, and I got the full story. But an hour later, I know all I need to know. I know, don't expect a Chili's call. I know that, hey, personnel groupings is better when you go with some code names. Have some actual labeled names, because if I tell them, hey, let me give 11 personnel, it's like, look, we have wasted 4 timeouts solely because, Coach, I'm pissed that Austin was watching me about to have a conniption fit. I told 3 gentlemen, I said, you're going in, you're going in, you're going in. Everybody else comes out except for one person. Y'all are subbing for them. They said, okay, Coach, got you. Also knows that as soon as it was time for substitution, the very person that I told them don't get is a person that they called to sub out. And I'm like, well, I quit. Like, I fucking quit. Well, you know, just look me in the face. This wasn't even a 3-second change.
Well, you know, it's funny because they, you know, because at the end of the day, they're not really paying attention.
No.
They're not. And because we had that same issue. Like, there would be times we're like, all right, we need a line and we need this. And the guys are just standing on the sideline. It's like, you don't want to play? Like, what are you out here for? Like, and that's the thing to me. Like, I used to always stress to them, if I paid my money for something, I'm gonna get my money's worth. Yeah. And then in this case, you know, Bo's only charging these cats with $100.
Right.
Because some of these other teams, I would be upset if I was a player on a team and didn't play. Because I just gave you $5 bills. Because some of these teams, it's $500 to play on these teams. American. And so.
And I'm not talking bad about nobody. I'm trying to understand the economics of this. Mm-hmm. How they get this $500? Because a couple of people I've had to employ.
Well, here's the thing. Well, a lot of them, when you're serious about something, you'll find a way to get the money or you save up for it. And I'm not in these guys' pockets. Some of these cats can't afford that. Right. Who knows? But a lot of these cats, they will probably save up for it. Right. You know, or pay it in increments. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Because, even in one of the videos that we did last year, I spoke about how the cats in this league took football a little more seriously than those cats in the DFL did. And so them cats are going to pay their money.
Got you.
Because they want to play.
Right. Because
some of these guys, some of the cats on the they are real, you know, like my man Rashard that played for the Phantoms. Yeah. You know, Rashard played at Baylor. He played in the league for a little bit. Like, so whatever his team fee is, he's going to make sure it's paid because he really wants to play. Right. You feel what I'm saying?
Got you.
So you know, I just, it's a dynamic that I don't understand.
How does the league improve?
How does the league improve?
How does the league improve? What additions, what additives need to happen to the league itself? We've heard about the team, but what about the league itself? How how does the league improve so that the overall product improves?
You know, honestly, I think the league improves. I mean, and it's really hard because you've done high school ball officiating. That's the biggest thing. And, you know, a lot of these guys are coming out there for $40, $50 a game. That's not enough money to get yelled and cussed out. And, you know what I mean? That's why I would cuss at the refs, but I wouldn't cuss at the refs, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
I wasn't going to disrespect those dudes. Dudes out there getting $50.
Right.
If that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're out there doing a service to us because at the end of the day, we don't have any officials. We can't play the game.
I'm going to put them on blast.
No, you could.
Sideline ref told me 60.
Okay, well then it is.
And they guaranteed a 2-game minimum.
Oh, so it's one.
So they guaranteed at least it'll be 100.
Oh, well that's good.
What they told me.
Okay, that's fine. I'm glad they're getting like that because you and I both know at the high school level.
Yeah.
You know, because I know for soccer the refs are only getting $40 a game, and I'm basing the money off of AIA.
Yeah. That's what we're basing it off of.
Yeah, we're basing off of AIA money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, obviously this is a private league, so they can pay. You know, they can pay a little bit, but I know for a fact the DFL them dudes weren't getting no money. Like they were getting like. You know, they were getting like $25, $30. You know what I'm saying?
Those are Foot Locker rates.
Yeah, the Foot Locker rates.
Got 3 shit. They can afford $75 from the gate. You know what I'm saying?
You know, so
it's only 3 of them motherfuckers.
You know, so
imagine all the calls them niggas missed.
Oh, I would be going crazy.
But you know, and not only that, but it's like they just didn't know football.
Right.
They didn't know football, and that's the thing. Like, I've yet to see a rule book for the officials. Like, do they get a rule book?
Yeah.
To tell them what? You know what I mean?
What's the limits and boundaries? I get
you know, like, and some of them don't know the rules. Like you were talking about the clock.
Yeah.
Because I remember last year it was, if I'm not mistaken, during the first and third quarter, the clock ran. And in the second and fourth quarter, like at 8 minutes, it stopped.
Like, how can you? What's the purpose of worrying about time of possession if you don't know? If you don't have a stable clock.
Well, I mean, the whole point is to get the games going so they can get
of course,
done.
so they can cycle, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
they really treat it like AAU though. It's like I'm trying to get, if we in the gym, I'm trying to get 15 games through here, and we got to be done by 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, because you ain't trying to pay them schools extra.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's extra. That you go over your time.
Right.
You got to pay for them lights, and you got to pay for the usage of the field because you've only allotted that much time. So I understand that. You know, but the thing is, that has to be communicated to all the teams and the owners and the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that has to be, because the fact of the matter is communication solves a lot of issues.
It does.
And if they just communicate that to y'all beforehand, or even when the season starts, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to conduct the clock because, hey, we got games. Because, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at it's nighttime. You guys were the game of the week.
Yeah.
And I think you told me y'all started an hour later.
Yeah.
So guess what?
At 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So guess what? They were trying to get that game.
I know. I can tell that by the middle of the first quarter. I could tell. I was like, oh shit, no. Because just how based on how the last week went, I was like, oh no, they running this bad.
Yeah,
they trying to get us out quick.
Yeah, because you know they're not trying to pay that.
Yeah,
they're not trying to pay that extra.
90-minute game. They wanted every bit of it to be a 90-minute game.
Yeah, because they want, you know, because they're not trying to pay that extra money, and I can't knock them for that because, you know, who's to say they probably don't have the extra money lying around?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because how many cats on the team actually paid their team fees?
Mm. And that's another thing.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just seeing a lot of holes that I'm worried about. But then again, it's my first year, and clearly this stuff has been going on for a while.
oh, listen, man, listen.
So I'm just like, damn.
Here's the thing about it, bro. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. I always keep it a buck, regardless. You're going to just have to detach yourself from what you know and your experiences. You're just gonna have to detach yourself, because if not, you're gonna be frustrated week after week,
Gotcha.
year after year, however long you continue to do it. You're just gonna be frustrated because it's the same, especially here in Arizona. It's just the same.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Now,
So-
I wasn't even aware of other semi-pros leagues. Is there, like, I didn't know there was one in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all around.
I played in one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know when you told me about the one in
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
they all over, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn near every
Texas,
state.
How, like,
So I know we went to Colorado and played. Texas had one.
2 years ago, I was thinking about trying to get an ABA team. Like a little ABA basketball team. And I could see a little bit of potential in that and how you could run marketing and a true organization and things out of that, right? But like, Is the CFL a ABA? Is this? Do you get my?
Yeah, I get your
question?
comparison.
You get what I'm saying? Is that what this is, or is this not that?
It's a great value version.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The Walmart.
Yeah, I get you.
It's a great value version.
I get you.
And
the
so
Kroger brand.
Yeah.
Got you.
And so
it's Kroger brand.
Yeah,
And fries.
Kroger.
yeah, so you know, so
You know the great value. You know the Kroger.
I know Kroger brand.
yeah, great value is the Walmart brand.
Yeah. I was shopping Walmart. I shop at Fry's. I got Kroger.
Right.
You know, and so you know that's the thing, man. Like it's, you know, the leagues try very hard, and I mean with the DFL, I really wanted that league to work. They were black. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. They were brothers.
Okay.
And me being who I am, being a proud black man, I like when we try to get stuff together.
Right.
But sometimes, unfortunately,
Why wasn't this successful?
it's the way it was ran.
Got you. Just straight operation.
It was just straight operational, man. You got the owner trying to fight coaches and players from the team.
Yeah.
You got.
I condone fighting a little bit.
Listen, man. Listen. I'll be like just really calm with some. Hey, go ahead, do you, bro? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, go right ahead, go do what you got to do.
Got you.
You know, like even, you know, you mentioned T. Wavy earlier. You know, he came late to one game, right? And I benched him.
Yeah.
He didn't start. And I was like, hey, I don't care. You were late.
Right.
And from what I hear, you live right down the street from the school. You know, now if you were coming from work, I get it. And that was one thing about it. You know, that's one thing I always tell my athletes at the high school. I don't know your financial situation. So if you got to go to work, you got to go to work. So you paid for this experience.
Right.
But don't just show up late just because.
Yeah.
Let the team know. Like I said, communication solves a lot of issues. Hey, man, coach, I'm going to be late. I'm getting off work. I'll be there hopefully by the middle of the first quarter.
There it is.
No problem, man.
Right.
Get here when you can. Get here safe.
Right.
Just don't show up like
Expect something.
and like we owe you
Right.
something.
Exactly.
Like huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
So
work right.
you know, so it's just, you know, the mindset of these cats, man. Like, and some of them, they're just so easily persuaded.
That, and I think it's like just with the generations under me, that I'm just noticing a lot of entitlement. Like, you're supposed to do this. It's supposed to happen.
Well, you know what? I don't know how old you are. I'm 41.
Yeah.
So
We're the same age. I'm 40.
okay, so it ain't even the generations
Young
under us.
bucks.
It ain't the generations under us. I'm noticing in our groups,
Yeah.
in our brackets, social media and all this stuff has allowed people to feel this sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is, I really noticed it with people. You know who the most entitled people are? People who don't have anything.
Which is the.
You know what I mean? Like, no matter where I work, you know, and no matter where I've been, my experiences, don't get me wrong, I've been around wealthy, rich kids. I've taught in those schools.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, some of them are snobs.
Yeah.
But some of them are also the hardest workers.
Hardest workers. Yeah.
But then you get the kids who ain't got nothing, regardless of their race, they feel like as if you owe them something.
What's in it for me?
Me.
Like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious?
So, you know, so
I can go as far as sorry to
No, you
cut
good.
you off, but just to piggyback on that, I'm even gonna go a step older. There was I'm telling some business, but I'm gonna tell it. Grown ass woman literally told me I'm offering a job, and literally told me, no, if you can't give me X amount of dollars, I'll be fine with just unemployment. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? Like, that's the mentality you want to have as a grown ass woman.
Well,
Older than all three of us here. Let me just be honest. Older than all three of us here.
right. But you know what? But that's just the mentality, and that's the thing.
That's that extra 300 a day kicked in on that shit.
Yeah.
Wait till that shit.
Wait till it run out though. You still gonna have dumbass mentality. Like, are you serious?
And you know, and that was one of the things I would try to stress to those cats. You know, I remember the first year I stressed to them standards and expectations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have the expectation of your lady, and this was the example I used. I said, some of you cats have the expectation of your lady having dinner cooked for you when you come home. You come for this practice. but you haven't lived up to the standard of providing that life for her to have the dinner cooked for you when you come home. You probably ain't even no groceries in the fridge. But you mad that ain't nothing cooked, but you haven't done your role as a man. Standard and expectations. You got these lofty expectations, but you're not living up to the standards. And the fact of the matter is, you know, that happens in life. Like a lot of people, they have these standards, but they haven't, you know, they're not even standard. They have these expectations, but haven't lived up to the standard. You know, am I getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Am I, you know, taking this course to get ahead? What am I doing to get ahead in this game? And a lot of them, you know, like, I'm glad they got into a little off-season workout. Everybody's lifting the weights and stuff, because I was confused. Like, how are you trying to play a game as physical? You know, you and I both know football is a game of upper body violence. It's a game of upper body violence. So how are you playing the game and you not lifting, knowing you got to be violent on every play? Every play. Regardless of what position you're playing.
Which means that's muscle endurance. That ain't even muscle strength. Like, yes, you got to be strong, but you got to be strong over time.
Yeah.
Like time. That means you got to, your muscles got to have,
you know, and that's another thing, man. You know, football, you know, that's what I try to tell a lot of these high school cats. You know, I said football is a want-to game. I remember when I was in high school, I played fullback. And whenever we ran 31 trap, I had to hit the Mike linebacker. So in my mind, I had to make it up in my head. Coach already told us he's going to run this play 35 times tonight. I've done it 2 times already. So I got to do it 33 more times. You have to make up in your mind, I want to do this. You just have to. You know what I mean?
Or you won't be successful at it.
You know, here's the thing, man.
You don't bottom out.
I had to, you know, I got on these cats in the locker room last year during the Sergeants game. And I basically told them straight up, I said, look, a lot of you cats, man, I said, the problem is no one has held you accountable. You lack accountability. And not only that, you're scared to play. You're scared to get hurt. My boxing coach told me when I was 11 years old, you in a fight, you're going to get hit. Right. So you have to already condition your mind, I'm playing football.
It's going to happen.
I'm going to get hit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, you know, hopefully your boy's playing a little more physical. Jake, he's playing a little more physical this year. You know, I told him a couple of times, I said, dude, I need you to be the white Randall Cunningham. He probably don't even know who Randall Cunningham is. You know what I mean? With his physique and his arm strength, he's like a white Randall Cunningham. Because if you go and watch Randall Cunningham, or you look up old, you know, I mean, I grew up watching Randall Cunningham, but you go and watch old Randall Cunningham highlights, you know, you can kind of see that same athleticism.
It's real crazy. You said Randall Cunningham because my son's middle name is Randall for that fact.
Oh, really? Yeah. And so, but if you're scared to get hurt, you know, and of course, there are some other things. I remember the championship game, the owner of the DFL was telling him he was going to get him an arena league shot of a team that didn't even exist anymore. But you let him, like my boy Donnell say, you know, he runs these little tax businesses in Philadelphia. He goes, don't let people trick you out your spot. You let him trick you out your spot. He put it in your head he was going to give you an opportunity. You went out there playing scared because you didn't want to get hurt, because you didn't want to lose the opportunity. And you didn't go out there and play the best of your ability.
Gotcha.
You feel what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So a lot of these cats, you know, and listen, you know, we talked about one. You know, that's highly unfortunate. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys don't have medical insurance. You know what I mean? They go out there and practice on the game and they get hurt, and that could be their livelihood. So I totally get it. But, you know, like my brother served 23 years in the Marine Corps. He went to war 4 times, and I was always, every time he went to Iraq, you know, I was always afraid that he wouldn't come home. And we would have these deep conversations, and he goes, bruh, I signed up for this. So if I die over there, it's what I signed up for.
Right.
You signed up to play. You know the risk.
67% every time you put your hand in the dirt, you got a chance of not making the next play.
Yeah. So
74% once you get to the weight.
So
only reason I know that is because Norm Chow told me. He's like, no, every time you put your hand down, 74%.
Yeah.
You may not make it. If you do, thank God that you did.
I just felt I was just giving too much of my time and it wasn't being appreciated.
Gotcha.
You know, because to me, my time is valuable.
Right.
That's why I kept hitting him up, like, yo, what time, you know, like, you know what I mean? Because I rearrange stuff. Granted, it's a Sunday night, but I still got stuff that I do at night. You know what I mean? Like, I got a little audio book thing I'm working on. I got all this type of crap that, appreciate it. So it's like, I got all this different crap that I'm working on. But that's my guy, and I was like, you got to give me a cameo on the spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to give me a cameo in the spot, on the show. So, but it's like,
he became a viewer.
Oh, that's what's up.
I found out that he
got 5.
We got 5.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
coming up. We been standing up. We still got to talk about the plays.
Right, we been standing up, but
play 33.
We might not even get to that.
Shit, play 33. I know it's time to go. Play 33. Check out play 33.
You got to understand who you're dealing with. You'll hear me say it all the time. If you're ever around me, if you can anticipate the human mind, you leave nothing to chance. And that's dealing with the people that you deal with. You got to understand how they think. You got to just understand how they think. You got to put yourself in their mind. And you got to, put yourself in their position. I know it's hard. It's hard.
He can't put himself in
he can,
one day practice week.
No, I never will. That's a perfect exit for me. I need to go to the restroom.
That's where it stops.
That shit there.
That's where it stops right there.
Man, I've seen 2 or 3 whiffs on the offensive line.
Yeah, I know you want to. You got that shit written down. I know you want to.
Yeah, it just don't make no sense. Like,
yeah, man.
But what did I say earlier? It's a want-to game.
Yes.
Did he want to do that? Did he have the mental capacity?
He didn't want to. But my thing is, why the fuck are you out here then? Like, why are you out here?
Because they paid for it and it's an experience.
We just standing up. He ain't gonna piss.
Yeah. Excuse me, Grandma.
He has to hear from someone other than me how this shit goes, because I've only been here.
Well,
what? Probably not even 2 full seasons yet. I mean, there 1 season?
Well, I think it also too depends on the organization. Because there are probably some teams where they get great practice numbers and they get good participation. Also because the guys value it a little more because they're paying a little more.
Yeah, that's basically where it comes.
Because you think about, okay, Bo's only charging you guys $100. I don't know if all these guys are paid, but it also goes back to Coach Rick with the Ravens. Coach Rick never really took money from these guys, and it's the same type of.
Always got 8 people at practice.
Yeah,
they wasn't fully invested.
They wasn't fully invested. So guess what? If I pay, but I mean, don't get me wrong, I value $1 a little different. Because guess what? I don't care if I pay $20. I'm gonna be there because I paid $20. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So. But, I guess some of them got money or if they're paying it all. But, hey, maybe that $100 is nothing to them. So, they don't value it. But I guarantee you, if he charged like $300-$400, you have guys at practice because they're going to get their money worked out of there. Especially when you got your old lady in your ear talking about, because that's $400 you took out the house. That's groceries or food for the, or something for the kid. So, you paid all this money and you're not going?
Right.
Nigga ain't no pussy in me, bitch, I been standing up.